Where is my... Where's my... Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to RightWellTrading.com. 1 second here, guys. I don't know what happened to my, Oh, there it is. Okay. Awesome. Good to have you guys on. Good to have you guys in. HPI making a little comeback. Let me double check on today's challenge date because I know I've been getting it wrong. I think it's 391 today. Yeah, it is. Okay. And then we're up, how much? 208,000 today. Alright. Go here. Go like this. Bless me. Hope you guys had a great trading day out there. I want to cover today here in a second. Give me a second. I want to set everything up here before I do. Again, hopefully you guys had a great trading day. A lot of crazy price action today, to say the least. A lot of different moving parts. But that's to be expected. When the market gets like this, there's a lot of chasers everywhere. There's a lot of people shorting. There's a lot of people longing. And, yeah, so give me a second here, guys. I am live going over today's trading day up 200K. Okay, there's that. Just getting everything set up here, guys. Again, hope you guys had a great trading day out there. Hope you guys have been trading well. I know today was a lot of volatility and a lot of opportunities, to say the least. And yeah. All right, guys. Let's see here. Give me 1 second, guys. Again, hope you guys had a great trading out there. Hopefully you guys have been trading well. What a, to be honest, a crazier trading day. HPI was a runner today. Exila was a runner. What's another one? Atos. CGOC, and we can do MDIA. I gotta put this in. So hope you guys had a great trading day out there. A lot of opportunities, a lot of upside, a lot of downside. When it's volatile, when I say there's a lot of opportunities, there's a lot of opportunities from both ways. It's never one-sided, guys. Alright, then I'm gonna go like this. Like that. Okay, guys. Alright, that should be posted on both social media here. Alright, cool. Alright, guys. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining the RightWellTrading.com community. Let's go ahead and go over today's trading day, okay? Here. Okay, guys. Alright, what's going on, Steve Austin? Steve Austin got beat today by Alan Fishing and Antonio Zieber. Awesome stuff. I'm surprised there. Letting your guard down, Steve. No. But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys have a great trading day. You know, I know that, you know, today was a very opportunistic day. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we were able to find IMTE, you know, early yesterday, and that was an overnight for me. And I want to explain kind of like my thought process behind it and things like that, because that was my big winner. IMTE and MMAT were my big winners today. UTME and NEGG and COHN were my 3 big losers on the day. So yeah, that is what it is, guys. Hopefully you guys are trading well out there. Hopefully you guys took advantage of the opportunities. Hopefully you guys, you know, banked on IMTE. But at the end of the day, you know, obviously you didn't want to see this huge tank. Like that was just disgusting. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of just what's been going on in the market. CGOC, nothing. MDIA, no day 2, right? So, you know, you get these kind of, and now we're getting the back end of all these chasers, right? So it's kind of, you know, a little bit to be expected. Okay. Even Xela. You know, Xela, we had a nice perk, and now we're coming all the way back down, right? So, what's happening here, in my opinion, is, you know, we're getting the front end of the market basically like, you know, to a point where, you know, everything's running like NEGG, MRIN, SGOC, and then we got MDIA. Let's go to the yearly. So, obviously MDIA, SGOC, NEGG, MRIN. Obviously, we're getting huge runners, right? So, on IMTE, it's probably been about 6 months since I've been so confident in a play. Okay? IMTE, a former runner, similar sector, but being compared to both MDIA and SGOC. Now, the ones that actually ran were MTSL, and what was the other one? CETX. But those weren't like really, I mean, they were solid moves, but they weren't huge moves, right? I'll pull up on TikTok. I'll share my screen. Alright, let's see. Cool. And so, you know, at the end of the day, guys, I was extremely confident in IMTE. You know, first off, because if you look, you know, you get the day 1, the day 2, the day 3, and then, you know, today was day 4 breakout. And we've been getting that with MRIN, right? Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. SGOC, it only took 2 days. NEGG, a 5-day breakout. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And, you know, with MRN, you know, we nailed the blend sympathy, right? The blend sympathy was, you know, right in here, and it moved to 14. Off MRN. It was the same concept I was looking for on IMTE, except we didn't get that kind of movement. Now, you're not always right on sympathy plays. That's just the reality of it. Sorry, I'm trying to focus this a little bit better here. You're not always, you know, going to be right on sympathy plays. But to me, this one was the most obvious sympathy play out of the entire sector this entire time. No question. Not only that, but we're in a chase market. Not only that, it's a former runner. Not only that, it's, you know, Hong Kong. SGOC was Hong Kong. So on and so forth. It was also being compared to MDIA. So many things were going for it that I haven't been that confident in sympathy play in a very long time. Now, it worked out. It panned out. But, you know, look at what happened. A big sell-off. And it's unfortunate because I got trapped on the downside on this one in my inherited. You know, I ended up losing 150K. I was up like 500K or 400K on this position. I can't even remember in the inherited IRA. Didn't take anything off. I was looking for 8s and 9s, maybe even 10s. And it just jammed. It stuffed that high a day 660 retest. And, man, it halted down and never even kind of came up for a breath. And that's just the reality of trading, guys. You know, Jordan said it best. And he pinned it in chat, and I want to go over this. Okay? us as traders, we always have opportunities. There's always volatility, and there's always going to be ups, and there's always going to be downs. We truly don't know what's going to happen in front of us, but we study every single day to give the best opportunity for ourselves to make sure we put ourselves in the best percentage gain of being in a position where you have a chance to create consistent returns, right? So Jordan said this really well. If you blame others for inability to take accountability in your trading, then trading isn't for you, which is 100% true. Gave specific game plan way before the move. Yes, it does look terrible, no question about it, of course. But at the end of the day, stocks can only go up and down. It's your job to trade the volatility, which is 100% true. So I hope that a lot of you guys are able to bank, because this was an overnight idea yesterday at 460s, 470s. So, nice little winner pretty much for the first 4, 5, 6 hours of the day. And then just absolute stuff candle on that one. And so, yeah. At the end of the day, there's a lot in trading. I really thought this was going to get chased in the 8s, the 9s, the 10s. I mean, even HPI was running, and RCAT was running. VPRX halted up. VPRX halted up. There were still VRPX, there were still chasers out there. It was still there. But it's tough because, sure, I'm up on this trade, but I actually lost 150K in my inherited today. And I was up like 400 or 500K. But that's trading, and I know that I'm at a different level. I know that I'm talking about a lot of dollar amounts here. But I want you to think about percentages at the end of the day. I'm still working. I need to message Trade Zero about how to talk about percentage gains on my account, because that's the number one thing I need to focus on. Let me message them right now, actually, before I forget. 1 second here. See if I can. Okay. Okay, I just messaged them that. Yeah, I mean, Ariel was up 300K, and then he ended up being red on the day. And that's trading. We all go through the ups and the downs, and we have to always study to position ourselves in every situation properly. The market goes up, and it doesn't just go up, but it comes down. Stocks don't just go up, but it comes down. There's so many times that you could have gotten shaken out of this, and shaken out of this, and shaken out of this. And, it's your job to figure out how you're going to position yourself with proper size, proper risk off, and what works for you. If you didn't take this trade as an overnight, then okay, so be it. That means it didn't fall under your plan, your process, and your strategy. That's good. You followed your plan, your process, and your strategy. Okay? But at the end of the day, we all make mistakes. We all have ups and we all have downs as a trader. So, today was an opportunistic day, and I hope a lot of you guys were able to bank from that. But, at the end of the day, when stocks go up, they can get hammered too. Just like, if you look at MDIA, went to 18, and that closed at 8, right? SGOC went to 29, it's already at 960 a day later. I mean, we're seeing things get stuffed. Absolutely stuffed. But it doesn't mean there's still chase out there. It's becoming less and less. It's very apparent. AHPI didn't run as far. VRPX got stuffed immediately. Right? We had to move from 480 to 720. What was the other one? RCAT. 3 up to 6. Right? So there's still chase. There's still opportunity. But it's becoming less and less, as well as less liquidity and less upside. Okay? So, yeah. MMAT was another solid trade of mine today. I basically was adding this wedge here. So if you wanna go like this and go like this, you can see it's a little bit of a wedge. Broke out, retest, and then I started scaling up in there. So I had a big position on it. I had 318,000 shares, and I was accumulating on a lot of the dips, looking for a push to 410s, 415s, and that's exactly what I got on a lot of liquidity. Was able to take it off for a $46,000 gain, and that was basically the end of my day. There was a couple of stocks like NEGG. It's still selling off. This one is still selling off, and now it's at 31.70. Carve, this is a nice pop and drop. COHN, same thing. CPOP, we had a nice pop and drop here, a nice move up, and then just got slammed down. So, guys, there is, like I said, a lot of opportunities out there, but there's gonna be a lot of slamming going on, and it was all over the market today, guys. Every single time something got slammed, basically today, almost every one of them, everything that went up got slammed. And look at this. Our count went from 6 down to 4. And so, things are going up and they're coming down. And you have to realize that there's less liquidity these days. There's less volatility these days. There's, at the end of the day. And so, 2 solid trades made up for my day, but it could have been a lot worse. I took about, even on top of that, I took about probably $70,000 in losses, and still was able to scrunch together a $208,000 day. Our cat's making a move to the upside here. Look at this. Our cat's trying to push through 508. This is to be expected, guys. This is the market we're in. There's gonna be ups, and there's gonna be huge pushes, and there's gonna be downs, and there's gonna be huge pushes, and there's gonna be whipsaws, and there's gonna be candles, and there's gonna be things, and you just gotta prepare yourself. Study for these moments, guys. Study for these days. I've been living through these markets long enough to know this isn't the first time it's happened. Okay, this happens a lot. Every couple of months we get kind of a huge, whipsaw price action, a lot of runners, a lot of chasers, a lot of FOMO, and we're off to the races with volatility. And in that volatility, it's your job to figure out how you're going to capitalize and put yourself in the best situations possible to find that opportunity. Now, I haven't done that very well, but, it's been about 2.5 months of just basically, in 1 month I lost about $1.5 million on one stock. And then I just been clawing back and clawing back and clawing back, right? At the end of the day, you end up, basically trying to evolve into the market where, you just have to keep pushing and keep studying and keep studying and keep grinding. I've been in your shoes. If someone's lost today, I lost well over 1.4 million on this stock. Why? Because it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to take this trade every time. And, it had so many red days, and I kept getting slammed on it. And I kept, sizing up, because I'm like, no way does it have more downside. No way does it have more downside. And here I am taking $1 million positions out in here and still getting stuffed on. So, I know what it's like to be down on things. And it's been a rough past 2.5 months. And finally I'm starting to break out of it. This account was at about 300,000 or 200,000 probably, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and we finally clawed it back up to 1.3 million. I actually, believe it or not, guys, I actually went red on this account. I literally had a negative 10K equity. I can't remember what stock I shorted, but I shorted it, and if I would have held it, I would have been up huge, but I didn't hold it because, I've been on such a cold streak, and it flashed in the red, and it was in the right mentality. It kind of reminds me of AMC. Way back here on this day, I had a short at a $23 average. And I had like a $2.5 million position short. Maybe even a $3 million position short. And since I was on a colder streak, I covered it up for like a 100K winner. If I would have waited 30 minutes longer, 30 minutes to an hour longer, I would have been up $1 million plus. So it's almost every time I have a short, except for, and every probably short that I've ever taken is always pretty spot on. It's just I'm risking a little bit too much and I get shaken out of it. The only one that I could specifically remember my short that I would have gotten absolutely hammered was this day here. I always short this at 81 something, I think, or 85 something. Was looking for a wash underneath 75. Couldn't believe how big of a move it had made. After hours, this thing went to like 200, and I flipped long, and even then, I still had lost like $300,000. That one concept right there could have blown my account, and that's why shorting is so dangerous. And I try and focus more on the long side because it only takes one. But I have seen a lot of consistent short players out there who take shorts and they nail them with big positions and big size. But that one stock could have ruined my account. So it's like, I don't know. And now, obviously, I covered it because I wasn't going to take a bigger loss. But even in that, it was probably a $300,000-$400,000 loser. So, anyways. Jason Kuros, I appreciate that. Yeah. I went from actually being down 10K on the account to back to up to 1.3 million on the account. And I literally saw it flash red. And they actually auto-covered me a little bit. The brokerage did. But eventually, I was able to wiggle my way out of it. And end up with about $300,000 in buying power. Or about $250,000 in buying power. I think I ended up covering at $240,000 in buying power, somewhere in there. And then we've slowly grown the account back up. Now the goal is to get this account to 10 million. That's the goal. So, and I know that, I've proven myself over the past 3.5, 4 years. I can grow 1,000 into 1 million, 1,000 into 5 million, 1,000 into 10 million, 1,000 into 15 million. So if I have a $240,000 account, I'm not going to add any equity. I would literally never add any equity to this account. I never have since the very beginning of the $1,171 that I started with 391 business days ago. And if I can take 1,000 into 1 million, there's no point for me to add any equity no matter what. When I first moved to Trade Zero from E-Trade, I started $300,000 and then I just kept growing it. And I actually grew it pretty quickly. So it doesn't matter, where I'm at with my equity. I always know that I can continue to grow it if I stick to my plan, my process, and my strategy. Over time, it works. I've proven it time and 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 time again. Believe it or not, I've taken 1,000 and 1 million 3 times. So, I know what I do works. I know that if I keep hanging on and I keep sticking my head in the game and I keep studying and keep improving what I'm doing every single day, then not only am I getting better, to be honest, this is the best I've ever felt trading my entire career, right? It might not show it because I had a hard 2.5 months, but the scoreboard isn't always what's going on in your actual career, in your actual game. And I come on here every day for you guys to be motivated, to be inspired, to realize that you don't need a lot to take it into a lot, okay? It just takes consistency. It takes patience. It takes opportunity to wait. The biggest thing that I found about most successful traders, one of them is I'm talking billionaires, they're able to be patient through anything. And we're talking years and years of patience, right? It's not just, month 1, month 2, month 3. That mentality is so far-fetched right now, I can't even, I have a long-term portfolio, but the mentality of just focusing on a long-term and being 5, 10, 15 years down is extremely hard to get yourself into. Because if you go through something like Amazon where you're up to 4, then it goes up to 110, and then it falls back to 6, and then it goes back to, now it's at 3,500. Depending on how much size, it's so much risk, because when you have a lot of size, you're like, okay, well, what if this never comes back? What if this never comes back? And then you cut it, and then all of a sudden it goes without you again. That's why size is very important in trading, guys. Because it happened to Jordan today, I believe. It happens to any trader. It happens to me. It happens to Ariel. It happens to the best in the world. If you have too much size, you might get shaken out in an opportunity that might have a lot of upside. You're just too much size in a position a little too early. Your long-term thesis is right, but you got stopped out because you couldn't take that you might be wrong and you're already down 400,000 or 1,000 or 5,000 or 100. And that sizing really screwed you up, but your main thesis was correct. You just couldn't hang on to it because you're in too much size and you'd convinced yourself that you're wrong because of how much size you had. And then all of a sudden when you stop out, that's dead bottom, the thing rips without you. I know we've all gone through that as traders. I know we all have. And that is a part of trading. You always, no matter what I do in life, in real estate, in any decision in my life that I ever make, I think worst case scenario first come right off the bat. When I bought my home for $2.5 million, and putting it cash down, I was like, you know what? What's worst case? Worst case, it's worth 800 grand. Worst case, maybe 700. Can I handle that? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm at a point in my life, it doesn't matter. So, I always put myself in that situation. I'm remodeling it, should be done by the end of the year. I'm putting a lot more money into it, but I'm thinking worst case, even with the revamp and the remodel, I just make these decisions all the time in my life. I think worst case scenario no matter what. And I think that that's a very important way to enter a trade and a very important way to understand trading is that too many people come into a trade like, okay, how much can I make? How much can I see? And at a point in life where they're like, how much can I see to the upside in my life? How much is right here? I really want this, and I really want, a good social life, and I really want good sleep, and I really want a good, physique, and I really want a good diet. But guys, from here to here, there's a gap, and that gap is understanding what's down here. It doesn't just have upside and no downside ever. If you go through a diet and you're like, I gotta stick to this 6 days a week for the rest of my life, you're gonna relapse. It takes time. It takes learning. It takes slow evolution of, okay, I can do this and I can get better every day and one brick at a time, right? It's not just boom, here, right? I think some of the best traders in the world that I've learned from, I found that they don't really go all in on massive size, very rarely. That's because, no matter what happens, you don't really know what's happening. You don't really know if that's going to have the same opportunity. You don't really know if that's going to do what you think it's going to do. Now, if I have a strong thesis and a strong bias and I have solid reasons that have been proven from data back to the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s, whatever, then sure, I'm willing to take some risk on the table. And it all comes down to how many times have I seen it, how many times has it panned out, and in that situation, I then size myself in and take positions accordingly, okay? But it's all from having confidence from being a trader and understanding what I've studied in the past and what has happened in the past that I then put myself in the future for, right? GameStop and AMC never really happens, but I'm also learning from those because this might be something that's a new thing in our market, right? Anyways, guys, that's it. That's all I have today. Hopefully you guys are staying inspired and staying motivated. Guys, study, study, study. You're going to get in when you put out of it, okay? If you're just going to try and study 20 minutes a day, well, you might be successful 5, 6, 10 years down the road, which is fine if that's what you want, but you can't expect to put 20 minutes in a day and say, I'm going to be the best trader in the world, okay? I can tell you, it took Jordan about 2 years to be profitable. Ariel, the guy put in so much time, and it took him less than 6 months to be profitable, I think. And now, in under a year, he's made over $2.5 million. But that's a rare. We're all rare. We're Jordan, Ariel, me. We're all rare. Even Wright, another guy, he's made over $1 million, and I have to confirm that. But he's one of my students, and it's not the normal. But I'm showing you guys what's possible, and to understand and to learn from that is key. So hopefully you guys are getting something out of my stream today. I feel like I needed to rant today. I apologize if I continued to rant, but it's just one day at a time, guys. Continue to try and better your life in every way you can, all right? I'm not a financial advisor. Trade at your own risk. I have a plan, a process, and a strategy. Free chat, link description below. My course teaching my process, link description below. Brokers that I use, link description below. Brokers, 2 free stocks, valued to $1,400. Check out all the links in the description below. You know what? Since I've been ranting for so long, I'll answer the first 3 questions. What is the first 3 questions that I have today? First 3 questions, first come, first serve, guys. Work hard, study hard, play hard. Exactly, Coffee Kid. Mariners will make the wild card. Bradley Lampo, we're close, man. If we can get Adam, Kyle Lewis back, then that's going to be big. What did you study? Fire Wall Street. I studied everything on YouTube that I can get my hands from. How to swing trade, how to day trade, how to long term. At the end of the day, I studied anything that I can get my hands on. I try to study from courses. I try to study on the successful people. I even go on TikTok, and my whole TikTok feed is how to learn, how to better my life, right? How much alcohol do you recommend on a day like today? That's funny. Honestly, on a day like today for you, there might be an exception for maybe go out to a bar and hopefully with some friends, not by yourself, and I'd say at least 4 shots. of it has to be Azul though. If you're with friends, a lot of friends, maybe 5 or 6, I don't know. But you definitely need to reset. I know what that feels like, man. I've done it time and time again. I can show you my trade review. I've been up 300 and I've been down 200 all in the same day. Class A, I still haven't. I just, we did some tequila tasting with some buddies and some nice tequilas, and I had 3 different tequilas, and nothing touches Class A Azul. So I still stand by that. It was all sold out though. SGSC, yeah, I'm watching that one. 1 shot for every 100K. That's funny. That is funny. What are your favorite stocks? I mean, Snowflake, definitely one of them. GE. All right, guys. Do we have any? What's the name of the scanner on your laptop screen? It's Trade Ideas. So basically, the Trade Ideas, you can go to my website. The link's in my bio. You can purchase the scanner settings, but you also have to purchase the trading software. You truly are the real thing, scanner. I appreciate it. Class A Azul is really good. That and I want to try the black label, but I'm going to try the black label when I hit 30 million on this account challenge. For right now, I wanted to get it on the 4th, but my buddies were like, yeah, you should wait until you hit that 30 million because you don't just want to just make it not special. And I was like, you know what? It's going to be tough, but I have to wait. So I want to get that black label Class A Azul next. How do you approach sizing up? That's a great question. Sizing up, how do I approach it? So it's very important to learn that when you size up as a trader, you're going to take on more risk. And with more risk, you're going to be a lot more emotional. No matter how hard you try, you can't pretend like you're not more emotional. At the end of the day, I need to get that song back. It's Timka. I need to get that damn song back. Our cat's running. So that's just the way it goes. But I need to get the song back where it's like, it's a stock rap song. I need to have that as my intro from now on. I also heard Dos Artis is really good too, but I can't get my hands on that. If anybody can get their hands on a bottle of Dos Artis, send it to my P.O. box for a birthday gift. No, I can't. Maybe you can go online and buy it, but there's nothing around here. And I heard Dos Artis is better than Class A, so we'll see. Yeah. What's the best way to cut down the loss on an overnight idea? So, dear, I mean, it's just the concept of how to cut a loss is kind of what you're comfortable risking and what your plan was going into the trade. If your plan was going into the trade that I can only take so much risk on, and then, you have to, with how much size. If you're in $1 million position, you probably only want to risk 2%. If you're in a $1,000 position, you probably can risk 30-40%, right? If you're in a $100,000 position, you're probably comfortable risking 5,000 or 5 to 10%, right? You see what I'm saying? So when you're in a position, right, your sizing is very key, dependent upon how much you're in and then how much you're willing to risk off. Generally, as humans, we're all going to say, well, if we're all in, we're only risking 1 or 2%, hopefully. If we're in with like a tenth of the account, you can probably risk 5 to 10%. Some of my best trades are me accumulating a big position based upon risk, and I keep buying the dips and waiting for that rip, right? Yeah, the golf. I want to do an NNT golf tourney soon, for sure. If you could ever talk to your 17-year-old self, what would you say? I would say, truthfully, finish high school, get your AA while learning stocks, and then after that, drop out and stop at nothing to figure out your trading plan, process, and strategy. I think if we truly put our our efforts into this every day, and you guys saw what Ariel and Jordan and me and what we actually, how much we study and how much we talk stocks, and I wish that you guys could see that to understand, how much time we actually put into this. We had a dinner. It was, I don't know, probably a couple weeks ago now, and just sitting down and talking stocks. I mean, it's just incredible the kind of power you can have just bouncing ideas off of people that actually have put the time in and have actual data to bounce it off of, and people that really have spent the time and the effort to learning. I use VWAP, but Ariel's trying to get me to use the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100 because Qual Maggie uses it, and honestly, that guy's not a bad guy to learn from. So I'm working on it. I need to get it on my charts though. I need someone to help me though. I'm good at trading. Everything else, I'm still working on in my life. All right, guys. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Some of you guys have been asking how to become a student. You have to buy my course, become a student, and that's basically it. Learn from my course. That's anyone who has my course. That's kind of my course of my students. So yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Click the icon on the remaining videos. Cheers, team.